Hello to another issue of Optics Trade Debates. Welcome. My name is Theodore.
My name is Tadej. Hello.
And today we are going to discuss basic features of all products which are listed into the category of thermal binoculars. This is at the moment, now we are in 2018, it's quite limited. There are only a couple of models, but I think in the future many producers will produce thermal optics, thermal imaging devices in a form factor of a binocular. So today I know you been in our team brainstorming and so on, so we talked about these devices and I think you gathered the most common questions regarding this topic.
Well, as you said, Theodore, there are not quite many of thermal imaging binoculars so far. We have this Pulsar Aculate X-Q38 and X-P50.
Yeah, this is the hit of 2018.
Yes.
Yeah,
And also device. Some ATN devices are also, ATN also manufactures some thermal imaging binoculars.
There are also others, the Canadians, the General Starlight Corporation, and they are couple of them, but usually they're really expensive. So
yes.
Pulsar and ATN at the moment are the only two producers which came down with the prices so that their products are really interesting for the civil market.
Yes, and well, for this particular reason, because this types of thermal imaging devices are not so familiar, the customers are not so familiar with. I'd like to ask you, how do we actually define this very unique devices so far?
Well, basically this is a normal thermal imaging device, like there are, let's say, the monoculars or scopes or clip-on devices also. The only difference is that you're using them with both eyes, not only with one eye. So there are many theories what is better, because we know that all of these devices at the moment have quite bright displays. So most of the people say, okay, when I look at the display, my eye pupil dilates, so it goes apart to 7 millimeters because there is a lot of light. And then when I remove the thermal imaging device from my eyes, and usually we use them in pitch black and during the night, then it's hard to see anything with a normal plain eyesight. So usually people say when you're using them only on one eye that this is problematic, because you need some time to adopt that both eyes are looking at the same way. So this is this is, I would say, the main problem that binoculars solve, because then both eyes are equal, because you look into the display with both eyes, so both eyes are of the same diameter, the eye pupils, and this helps you a lot, because that feeling of accustoming one eye to another, to the ambient lighting conditions and so on, is gone, because then both eyes are doing the change. Normally the minus of binoculars is that they are heavier, they are bigger and more expensive, even though if you look inside of the device, I would say I'm almost certain that they are completely the same in technology compared to scopes, to monoculars. The reason for it is that these devices only have two displays, or one display and a group of prisms which give you the image on both two eyes of the same display. But usually nowadays it's probably cheaper to make just a device with two displays instead of one. So at the end, the biggest difference is how you see the image. And some people prefer to observe the image with both eyes, since this is our normal, natural way. We always look with both eyes. So we also think that the image which we are observing with both eyes is far more pleasant and more natural. And this is something what binoculars and thermal imaging category are solving compared to monoculars. Normally there are users who say, okay, I use the monocular on one eye and then I put the rifle scope, conventional rifle scope, on the another eye, and they can do the transition faster. So they look and then they shoot immediately. With binoculars you need a couple of seconds so that the eyes adapt.
Yes.
But everything is the matter of taste. Apart from that, there are not many differences compared to normal monoculars. same lenses, same sensors, same software, same displays. At the moment in 2018, most of the sensors are either 380 something, 388 by 284 or 640 by 480. The displays are quite similar. There are not many devices that will have a bigger displays. Only the most expensive on the civil market have a display of 1260 by 800, but they're really, really expensive. They work in a way like every thermal imaging device. They detect heat, so that means that you don't need any illuminator. They work equally during the day or during the night. They have really, really long extension detection ranges. So if you compare them to conventional night vision optics, with conventional night vision optics it's really, really hard to see anything past 300 meters. With thermals you can detect a warm object or a warm animal also on 2 kilometers.
Also, I think the definition of the picture inside the thermal imaging binoculars, mostly in the thermal imaging, gets better and better over the years.
Well, in the last 5 years it was a revolution. The pixel size is shrinking, so both of these two devices have 17 microns big pixels. We are already seeing devices with 12 microns pixels, so that the definition and the resolution is even better. And I think this is the future. I think that most of the devices in the future will be like this. With binoculars, what is also with thermal binoculars, what is interesting with some models like this, for instance, the Aquavate, and some others also, they mimic the functioning and handling of a conventional binocular. So they have a focusing ring in the center between the eyepieces. They have normal eyepieces where you can set the interpupillary distance with them.
So like a very cool solution.
Yeah, because you need such a high quality device, you need a variable interpupillary distance. They have normally on both eyes, because you have two sensors, you need diopter compensation on both eyes, and normally focus it here. Everything else, it's roughly the same like on the monoculars.
Basically, these are all the basic features which are there on thermal imaging binoculars.
I'm sure that you viewers, you already seen a couple of videos which explain what thermal imaging is. We also have separate videos like what the calibration modes are. So every minute or something like that, the picture freezes in some of these devices when they need to recalibrate the functioning. We also defined what is the sensor size, what is the pixel size, and how it affects the image quality. Sensor resolution, display resolutions, we have videos for every this term. So the only thing what goes into this debate today is that how you see the image in a binocular and not in a monocular. So this is the main difference.
Well, for which field of use would you say that these devices are suitable to use for?
Well, I would say definitely hunting, surveillance, security sector, and normally military and police also. This in our shop, majority of all users are hunters. Even though we have to say, like with all normal thermal imaging devices, also with binoculars, you have problems to assess the trophy of, let's say, red deer or similar animals, since the trophies are usually cold. So, and with thermals you only see what's hot. So normally you also see all the shades and so on. So you are able to assess the trophy if the animal is close enough. Let's say with XP50, if the animal is, let's say, to 100 meters or something like that, you will be able to judge the trophy. But if it's 200 or 300 or 400 meters away, you're still able to see this is a deer, you're able to see the animal and so on. But it's going to be really, really hard to really see the trophy really well, because the trophy is cold.
So basically, you sacrifice a bit of a recognition on the target for a distance.
Well, yeah. You sacrifice a little bit. You gain detection range, and you sacrifice a little bit of the details of what night vision gives you. So in use, it's always good to combine, let's say, a normal thermal binoculars and let's say a classical analog night vision clip-on. This is, I would say, the perfect combination.
Because these devices are, we can say, brand new in 2018 from Pulsar, of course, and our customers are interested how they fare with regarding the price with the thermal imaging monoculars. What's the price ratio?
The price ratio is around 600-700 euros more. I would say from 700 to 1,000 euros more. So you pay for the additional screen, you pay for the additional eyepiece, and normally different housing and so on. So it's a little bit more because you have 2 eyepieces, 2 displays and so on. Normally these are still expensive devices, but their capabilities are quite astonishing. If you never tried the thermal binoculars, I would really suggest that you do, and you will see how they work, and you will probably be quite astonished if you're a hunter and if you want to see how it works.
What about the magnification ranges of these devices?
Well, they are all, most of them, they come with some analog magnification, which is standard, so it depends on the lens and on the sensor. They usually start around 3 times, 4 times, and then they have digital magnification from then onwards. So you go into the menu and you raise the magnification digitally on the display.
Yeah, I think the Pulsar says this is a digital zoom.
Yeah, digital zoom. It goes on a smaller model, I think from 3 to 18 or something like that. On a bigger model from 4 to 20. I think maybe I'm wrong. I apologize. So, but the basic principle is that you're just magnifying the image digitally. So when you're raising the magnification, you usually lose a little bit of quality. So it's not like with an analog magnification with analog optical devices. Here I would say up to 10 times magnification, it's okay, because then you have 4 analog and then digital you go up to 10, it still works well. Everything above, it's a little bit less useful. The image quality is not on the appropriate level.
I take it all of the thermal imaging devices are basically digital, not analog. Is that correct?
No, it doesn't. Analog doesn't exist, at least on the serial market.
Yes. What about with these devices regarding the illuminators? You mentioned they don't have illuminators. Is this the case with all devices?
Yeah, all thermals, they work with the detecting of heat, so they don't need any illuminators or anything like this. They are coming the fusion devices where manufacturers will combine thermal and night vision channels. Those will have the illuminator for the night vision channel. And what is also true that, with analog night vision devices, it's always a problem if you use them by mistake or accident during the daytime, when there is bright daytime sunlight. You can damage them. With thermals, this is not a problem. Thermals, they work the same way, either during the day or during the night. So this is a big advantage of thermals.
I also know that the latest 2018 Swarovski L range, I think this one, which has the laser rangefinder installed. Will this also be the case with thermal imaging binoculars? Will they also feature a laser rangefinder?
Sooner or later, yeah. The Pulsar is already promoting their acrylates with a laser rangefinder built in. They will be available at the end of this year. At least this is the plan. However, I also think in the future, let's say 10 years from now, all thermal binoculars will probably have the laser rangefinding capabilities. The reason for it is that with thermal imaging, sometimes it's hard to assess the correct distance. So most of the objects which you're observing, if you compare the image impression when you're looking through the thermal binoculars or your plain eyesight, you will have an impression here that the animals and objects are further away. So this is the reason why they're starting to integrate laser rangefinders into them, so that you're able to measure the distance and know correctly. Most of of the devices already have the I would say alternative mode of assessing distances, and this is you can choose between 3 different animals, and I think it's hare and wild boar and red deer, and you have 2 lines for their height. So when you're observing an animal, with the help of the menu, you put 1 line where the ground is at the animal, and then another line to its back, to its height, and then the device will assess the distance to the animal. It's highly unreliable method because normally animals are different sizes, and also it's hard to be really precise and so on. So my personal opinion is that laser range finding capabilities will really upgrade the potential of this device.
Yeah, I think so too, because you have to take into the account that with thermal imaging you can observe to the distances up to 2,000 kilometers.
Without a problem, man. You're able to detect warm objects at 2 kilometers or 1.8 kilometers without a problem, man. Sure.
Well, I think these are all the questions.
I hope so. If you forgot something, just shoot us an email or use comments below. And if you like the video, if you gained any valuable information, please subscribe.
Take care.
Bye.